Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Terra by Battat Dan LoRusso Collection Tyrannosaurus Rex. Alright, so I picked up this Tyrannosaurus toy at my local Target for $9.99. The box here is quite nice looking. Looks sort of like an old map. It says it's for 3+ years. It says Terra by Battat Tyrannosaurus. And in the lower left it says it is part of the Dan LoRusso Collection. Dan LoRusso was one of the designers of the Battat dinosaur line. Battat, I believe, is a Canadian company that started making these dinosaurs a good 20 years ago or so, maybe even longer. And I don't know a whole lot about the company, but I think it was somewhere around the late 90s, early 2000s maybe, that they quit making these dinosaurs. And Dan LoRusso is actually a member of the Dinosaur Toy Forum, and he seems to think that this particular Tyrannosaurus might be older stock. He thinks that this could be something that's maybe like a 20-year-old toy that's been sitting in some warehouse that they just went back and repainted. So it's possible this is a really old toy. It's kind of hard to be certain, but that's kind of what his thinking is. The back of the box gives you some pretty good information on the Tyrannosaurus. Gives you some information on what it means. Tyrant lizard, late Cretaceous, 7.5 tons, 40 feet long. If you'd like to pause and read that, feel free to do so. There are also a couple of holes on the packaging. See a few of them right there. And then some on the other side that say up, kind of giving it a look as if it's maybe like a crate that's holding this dinosaur in place. There's also a really nice background there inside, as you can see, with some mountains. Looks like it's probably like some desert area from prehistoric times. Now the dinosaur seems to be secured by these twist ties. It has two at the legs and then one there at the tail. Out of the box, I think this is a very nice looking T-Rex. Despite having been sculpted about 20 years or so, I think this actually looks really, really good. Pretty modern in terms of what we now think a Tyrannosaurus would have looked like. Now, unfortunately, it does not stand without support. That's why I have that little button right there helping it to balance. So it's pretty nicely sculpted. The detail on it looks to be pretty good, and the paint apps are quite nice. The T-Rex is in a semi-neutral pose. It looks like maybe it's just kind of hovering, kind of looking toward the ground, which I think is pretty cool. I tend to prefer more neutral poses with my dinosaurs. In terms of the proportions, I think this actually looks quite good. It looks anatomically correct for a T-Rex. Give you a close-up of the head here. As you can see, it's quite good. Sure, it doesn't have the popular Stan Winston Jurassic Park type aesthetic, but this actually probably looks more realistic in terms of what we think T-Rexes may have looked like. It doesn't have the prominent ridging over the eyes. The jaw lines are, not too curved. They're a little bit more neutral looking. But even so, it looks quite good. The fact that this is a little bit more realistic of an interpretation, I think, is a positive thing here. As you can see, it looks quite good. The head itself looks nice. It does have the binocular vision, that way it can look straight at you, kind of. But yeah, really good looking head. I think that the sculpting on it for a $10 toy is nice, and the detail is pretty good. You can see that it does have some scaling and some folds along here. It does have these interesting looking crests kind of things, right here. And from what I've heard, some T-Rex specimens may have been found with something similar to this, so I guess that's why they did that here. The eyes on this particular T-Rex look pretty nice. Basically, it's just yellow with the, black dots. The teeth actually look really nice on it, I think. Very nice looking teeth. The inside of the mouth is decent. Has a little bit of detail in there. But then the rest of the body is also quite nice. Very interesting coloration. I'm not sure that T-Rex would have actually looked like this, but it's certainly an interesting take. It is pretty neutral in terms of the colors not being anything too outlandish, but the pattern is particularly interesting. It's kind of like this, maybe like a jade green kind of thing, going along the back, and then the underside is kind of like a deep honey mustard, sort of yellowish, brownish kind of color. Then, of course, the maroon ridging up here on top. It does have the claws painted black, both on the fingers and then on the toes. Again, the proportions on this are pretty good. It's got a good size head. The body looks to be, pretty accurate, I would say. And, I mean, all around looks quite nice. The arms with the fingers look pretty good. Legs look quite good. Again, very neutral pose here, but, it's just dynamic enough to where it doesn't look like anything, too crazy. And I think it's better off for that. The legs themselves look quite nice. Plenty of detail on this thing, I think. You get your toes right there, look pretty long and chicken-like in appearance. Nice work here with the claws. The tail kind of bends down and looks quite good. I'm not so sure. I might have preferred like if the tail were, like straight out like that, but this is good enough, I would say. The dinosaur also is very rubbery. You can kind of like move its arms and move its legs, and it has a very rubber feel to it. It feels solid, but it does feel like those imperial dinosaurs that they used to make, and I think they still make, actually. But the ones that I fondly recall having from when I was a little kid, it feels a lot like those, just very heavy rubber, which is pretty nice. I like the rubber feel of dinosaurs. Now looking underneath the dinosaur, it looks like it says 1994. It's really hard to make out what it says there. It almost looks like 84, but I'm really pretty certain that this isn't from 1984, but it's got to be 1994. It just looks like it's kind of scratched out there and kind of hard to make out. You can certainly see where it says Tyrannosaurus Rex and then Battat Inc. here. It says China right there. And then it's got this printed number 041515. I suppose maybe that's when they manufactured it. Or if this is a repaint of older stock, then, maybe that's when they repainted it. Really hard to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Terra by Battat Dan LoRusso Collection Tyrannosaurus Rex. All in all, I would say that for $10, this is a really good deal. On the secondary market, the original releases of these dinosaurs, like the T-Rex, go for a lot of money. I've heard that they've sold for around $100. The fact that you can get a repainted version of that same T-Rex, which actually looks really good from a realism perspective, is a heck of a deal. Yeah, it's not the most impressive Tyrannosaurus model out there. It is a bit toy-like, and it's nothing like the Papo or Rebor Tyrannosauruses that we have looked at on the channel. But when you consider that you can go into Target and pick something like this up for $10, and that at the same time they have this on the shelf for $10 as well, it's kind of a no-brainer. The Terra T-Rex is a heck of a lot better than something like this. Now this is my very first Terra or Battat dinosaur purchase. I don't have any of their other stuff. I know that the Terra stuff is sold, I'm not sure if it's exclusively sold at Target, but that's the only place that I've seen it. It's possible that other places might carry the specific T-Rex in the future, but as of right now, I've only seen it at Target, and it is a new release. This T-Rex has only been out for a couple of weeks, I think. That being said, if you're a fan of Tyrannosauruses that are quite realistic, have nice sculpting and decent detail, and pretty good paint jobs, then I think this is probably one you're going to want to consider. For $10, you really can't beat it. The only drawback that it has, is, of course, is that it cannot stand, which in my view is a pretty major thing, because that should kind of be like the number one thing that any toy, whether it's a dinosaur, an action figure, or some other kind of animal or whatever, should be able to do without any problems. But it's an easy fix. You just put a little something underneath its toe and it seems to stand just fine. So I do recommend this to you, especially at the price of $10. You really cannot go wrong here. And for what it is, I enjoy it quite a bit. It just seems all around like a pretty solid dinosaur toy. Alright my friends, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.